So let me tell you about the state of Massachusetts. So let's look at who runs their government. So it's mostly Democrats. And I got this paper right here just so I can look right quick because some of the numbers I can't memorize off the top of my head. So let me just give you something here. So they have a Democratic governor, Maura Healey. They have a vice governor or lieutenant governor, Kim Driscoll. Attorney General, Andrea Campbell. Secretary of State, William Galvin. All Democrat. Now, they do have, granted, their state Supreme Court is all Republican. They have 7 seats. Every last one of them is Republican. They were all appointed by the last governor, Charlie Baker, who was Republican. Now, here's the good news. More good news. In the state Senate, there's 40 seats. And out of those 40 seats, Democrats hold 37 of those seats. And then with the state House, they have 160 seats. And it says here Democrats have 135 of those seats, but technically I think it's 134 because I think they said one of the seats was independent. And actually it might be 133 because I think they said there was a vacant spot there too or somewhere. But either way, even if it was 130 out of 160, that's still a great majority. So Democrats essentially hold most of that state. And let me tell you what they did as a result. Here's one of the things that they just recently did. This came out a couple weeks ago. Guess what? They gave kids in schools free lunches. Now, you're asking, now I know this is the question that I get from conservatives all the time. How does it get paid for? Who's paying for it? It's simple. Now, this part might shock you. It might scare you. But just brace yourselves. I suggest you don't eat or drink as I'm getting ready to tell you how they did this. They taxed the rich. What? Oh my goodness, rich people are in danger. Somebody call 911. Get the fire department. Call the police. Call everybody. Cause that's probably what some of them did actually say out there as they implemented this policy. So here's the deal. I got to be a little facetious at times. I have to. I can't help myself. So NPR, this is a 60-second read, and they detailed exactly how this policy went through and how much money was allocated. Here we go. This is according to NPR. A 4% income tax on millionaires will make lunch free for Massachusetts K through 12 students. Massachusetts' new budget will provide free school lunches for K through 12 students thanks to an additional 4% income tax on the state's residents' incomes above $1 million. The extra tax, known as the Fair Share Amendment, was approved by voters in November of 2022. This was on the ballot. And see, that's amazing that they did that. More states need to do that. It is generating an extra $1 billion for the state. Of that, $224 million will go to K through 12 programs, including free lunch and implementing clean energy in schools, the governor's office said. This FY24 budget shows that FY is fiscal year. 24 budget shows that Massachusetts can address critical needs like housing, college affordability, and hunger while also remaining fiscally responsible. State Administration and Finance Secretary Matthew Gorskowitz said, I tried my best to pronounce it. I think that's how you pronounce it. Matthew Gorskowitz. This spending plan is both affordable and necessary to meet the array of needs confronting our families, businesses, and municipalities, and I am thankful to my partners in the legislature for their collaboration to get this done. Additionally, $229 million will go to higher education, including making community college free for students 25 and older, and $71 million will go towards increasing the number of child care slots for low-income families and put the Commonwealth on a path to universal pre-K, the governor's office said. The standard state income tax in Massachusetts is 5%. The remaining $477 million of the Fair Share Amendment revenue will go towards transportation, including preserving highway bridges, improving city roads, and increasing accessibility to public transportation stations. The total Massachusetts budget is about $56 billion. Do you understand that when people like the Squad, when people like the Bernie Sanderses of the world, the people like the Nina Turners of the world, and generally most Democrats who would be either considered far left or even like moderate left or slightly to the left of that, do you understand what they mean when they say that taxing the rich helps take care of things? Now, again, the reason why I brought up all that stuff about, well, here's the Democrats run the state, I don't think that would have passed, and I could be wrong. And maybe somebody in the state of Massachusetts knows better than me. Maybe they could correct me. If the state was, say, the state house was Republican, state Senate Democrat, or vice versa, or if it was half Republican, or let's say most of it was Republican, I don't think this would have passed. I really don't think it would have. And that just shows you right there. And by the way, I don't see anything that says the rich people out there who got taxed that all of a sudden they became not rich anymore. I don't see that happening. I haven't seen or heard any reports of something like that coming out. And again, I'm just curious to know what is the proper, logical, and moral argument against this. You're feeding kids in schools. Doesn't everybody want their kids fed? Don't you all want your kids? I'm not even a parent, by the way, and I just think this is amazing policy right here. Liberal and conservative parents will like say they want their kids to be safe. They want them to eat and survive. I said, something like that helps. And so, surprisingly, I haven't seen enough Republican backlash against this. Maybe they secretly know that this is a good policy, but they can't openly celebrate it because they know that they'll get backlash from other Republicans who are against it. But again, that's where they're at. They're caught between a rock and a hard place. If we celebrate it too openly, that makes us look not Republican. But if we criticize it too openly, then we look too heartless. So again, and this is another reason why we need to push the Biden-Harris administration to do just that. And we need to push more and more Democrats to get on board with that. Democratic congresspeople, senators, governors. There was actually another article that I came across that showed that, and I'll talk about this in another video, there's about 7 or 8 other states that signed on to this, that also got with this. So I think California was one of them. Michigan is one. There was a few other states that got on board with the kids getting free school lunch programs. So again, I mean, there's not too much else to say about this. You tax the rich even a little bit. And by the way, it's not like they were taxed 60%. They weren't taxed 50, 40, 30, or even 20%. This was just 4%. 4. What did they really lose over that? And again, we're not saying rich people don't matter, and that we don't. Some people out there might just straight up hate the rich just because they're rich, and they think that. I would say forget those people. Just let's be rational and reason about this. Like, look, 4%. Kids are fed, and as they just said right here, money's going towards fixing roads and making community college free. That's a big one right there. I mean, Massachusetts right now, they are winning right now, and they keep things like this up, they are for sure. Maura Healey is 100% guaranteed to win the next governor's election if she decides to run again. And if she doesn't, then Kim Driscoll or whoever decides to take her spot, however they're going to work that out or whatever happens there. But I got to say a huge congratulations to the state of Massachusetts, and kudos. And I'm very much proud of the Massachusetts Democrats for approving that and getting that through. So this is something we need to push across the board, people. We need to push this across the board. I just wanted to relay that news to you. So there's some other states that did the same thing, and I'm getting ready to get to that in another video. But let's take a little bit of time just to celebrate this victory right here.